Okay, so there's one. Anybody feeling masochistic? I was like on a train, it was like the 4th of July. I wrote this song, but I think I'm going to wait on this. Okay, so... I'm sorry, I got to do this again, but... But you're quiet now, so it's easy.
Yeah!
Grace found out there's blinking lights on this thing today, and she started playing with it, and I think the batteries are... But anyway.
All my batteries back?
All right, okay, so there we go. No, it's a 9-volt. Okay, so, you know how everybody kind of thinks that ADHD is sort of a fake disease, and they just put kids on drugs for it and all that kind of thing?
Yeah. You're proving to the contrary.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think probably half the people on ADHD medicine don't actually have ADHD, but I was listening to Science Friday on NPR the other day. You know, Ira Flato, I'm sure y'all listen to that. And he was talking about a scientist who was looking at some other thing in the brain, and he realized that some people have a protein, an enzyme that regulates dopamine function that goes in reverse instead of going forward. And so in that sense, it totally makes sense that when you give that person an amphetamine or some stimulant, that it gets your dopamine going the other way. So dopamine's not just a circuit that gives us pleasure like orgasm, gambling, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, blah, blah, blah. Dopamine also, like, look at Ozzy Osbourne someday. When you fuck up your dopamine in your brain, you get Parkinson's disease. Dopamine is like very much a part of movement. And so the way I was going to tie all this in was to say that I was never going to be in a band because I was just this kid who hated his family. But I would always tap on my desk, and one day this other kid, I don't know where Jesse is, he's like, you tap on the desk all the time. He's like, you want to play drums in our band? And I was like, sure. So I went there, and they didn't have drums, they had a chair. But so anyway, that's how I got started into all this. So what I've realized is that they don't have a test yet for this inverse protein, but in the future they will. So if you want to just sort of take it on faith, that ADHD is a real thing for some people, and for a lot of people it's just some administrator at a school trying to not deal with a behavior problem by putting the kid on Ritalin instead. So anyway, my brain chemistry has never been right, although it's doing pretty good these days. And so this is a song about all the different ways I've tried to deal with it. And so just relax a little. This is a slow song. Caffiend if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never get me, I got better living chemistry. Caffiend if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never get me, I got better living chemistry. Caffiend if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never get me, I got better living chemistry. Caffiend if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never get me, I got better living through chemistry. And I drank so much coffee in the studio when we recorded this, I forgot it, all the verses and the entire rest of the song. So here it goes. And I tried smoking crack, but it wore off too fast for me. And I tried smoking speed, but my lips would break open and bleed. And I tried doing Ritalin, but I prefer to get my drugs off the street. I tried doing lines of cocaine, but I don't really like facial anesthesiology. Ow! Isn't that an uncomfortable feeling when you can't feel your face? I don't like it. Okay, let's see. You could say I've got ADHD, you could say I've got ADD. You could say I've got the disease, you could say I'm disturbed emotionally. I tried doing Prozac, but I prefer to get my drugs off the street. I'm proud to say I have used the most commonly used molecule on the earth. Caffeine. Caffeine. And it's not that I suffer from depression, it's just that the world is so depressing. And it's not that I suffer from insomnia, it's just that I'm too busy to go to sleep. And it might be appreciation for Ethiopia's most significant contribution to the world community, which is the coffee plant. And until I'm shaking and sweating, I just don't feel at peace. Okay, now here's the real slow part. Having if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never give me. I got living chemistry. Having if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never give me. I got living chemistry. Having if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never give me. I got living chemistry. Having if you methamphetamine, I need dopamine in my cranium. Depression will never get me. I got living to count. My strength.